welcome to this week's business edition, looking at how we can apply our career and business design into our daily work life, into our daily business, and integrating that into the entire team that we work with, and flowing on to how we interact with our clients. This week, we've just moved into the energy of trait 50, and this is all around values. And so this week is an excellent time for you to start looking at what are the values, principles, rules, and laws that uphold the structure and the integrity and the ethics of my business, of my working environment. When we think about values and principles, it's ultimately the kind of glue that holds the team together, in the sense that without these in place, there's a potential that people can get distracted and go off in different directions. It's also about this bonding. It's something that holds two people or a team together when we have these shared values and these shared principles and these shared laws. Someone who has this trait in their design is going to be someone who's going to be a natural enforcer and creator of these values, principles, and laws. And in order to be the enforcer within the company, you need to ensure that those people that are working together have this sense of responsibility. This is what I'm responsible for. This is what you're responsible for. We've come in this agreement together, and therefore we are going to have certain values and principles that ensure that everybody is upholding their level of responsibility. When we step into the unhealthy or the incorrect way of applying this energy within a business environment, if people don't have this co-responsibility or this agreement of responsibility, what will end up happening is either some people will not be doing enough and others will be doing too much. They'll take on too much responsibility. And there's a key fear that's associated with this particular trait, and that is around responsibility. So either you're afraid to take on responsibility, or you take on too much responsibility because of the fear. So it can play out in either way. And so what I'm encouraging you to do this week is to take a look at, do we know what the values and principles are in our business setting? And if we don't, this week would be a great time to kind of get everyone together and start having a conversation around this. Because whether you have trait 50 or not in your design, this week is going to bring this energy of the 50th trait into the environment. And so we can then leverage off of that energy to really look at what is happening in our particular business environment. It's a great time too for you to see who stands with your values and who does not. Because if people don't stand for the same values that you have, then quite possibly they're not the right people to be working with. And this can be extended not only to your team and to your business, but to your clients, to your vendors, to anyone that you're having interaction with in the business world. Because if your clients and your vendors do not have the same values and principles as you, there's going to be this misalignment. And wherever we have misalignment, there is breakdown in communication and breakdown of the ability to generate the resources and create the success on the material plane. So if there are any vendors or clients that you've been working with for a long time, but there's constantly been feeling as if they just do not have the same values as us, this week might be a really good time to either have a discussion with them around the values and to see if you can bring everybody on the same page, or possibly look at starting to let go of some of those clients that do not align with your values, your ethics, your principles, and the rules and laws that you set up to withhold that. And the reason why we have these rules and these values and these principles is because it's about the survival of our business. If we don't have these in place, then that survival of the business is threatened. Everything to do with the 50 has got to do with looking at what can we put in place to ensure that this business is going to survive, because it's coming out of the survival instincts. So the 50th gate is in the survival instincts, and everything to do with the survival instincts is about survival. How can we be the most relevant and the most capable business in these times to survive? And one of those ways to ensure that is by looking at the values, principles, and laws that you have in place within your business structure. Another thing that I'd like to mention in terms of responsibility is if the responsibility is not properly defined within your business structure, what's going to end up happening is that there is this potential for codependency. And essentially what codependency is that you end up managing someone else's responsibility, someone else's energy so that you feel better. And you can see this play out quite a lot in teams. So if someone in the team is taking on a lot of responsibility on behalf of everybody else, there's a very high likelihood that there is this codependency that it has started to creep into the environment. And all that it creates long-term is animosity between team members, because the person that's taking on all the responsibility is going to feel burdened and potentially even burnt out. And those that aren't taking on the responsibility that is their responsibility, they've got much less buy-in, much less glue or cohesivity into the team environment. And this is where you're going to have a further breakdown of the structure. So as we're looking at this week, what I'd highly encourage you to do is looking at this values, these rules, these laws, these principles, and how are they showing up in your environment. And responsibility is the fear here. So anything to do with responsibility, we want to be paying attention to that to see how that is showing up for you over the next week. When we can embrace all the elements of our career and business design and our team design, what we can start seeing is we can start having this cohesive functioning unit that really is here to succeed on this material plane. Whenever there's a breakdown in any of the aspects, the team dynamics just do not work, and the business dynamics just do not work. Now, when we're thinking about a business, we have so many crucial elements that play a role. And this area of values and the responsibility that comes in to ensure the survival of the business going forward is a crucial element. Enjoy taking a look at this, and if you have any questions about this particular trait, please let me know. I'd encourage you to subscribe by clicking on the link below. And each week I'm going to be sharing some really key business insights around the various traits that are flowing through in the BG5 system, so that you can see how you can apply this into your business dynamics and how you can really ensure that all the pieces are in play at the same time, and you're aware of if there are any shadows or issues that are cropping up as a result of people not living or not working in alignment with not only their design, but with the whole business design as well. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week. Lynda, Gaiao, see you next time.